Have you ever wondered about the real story behind Beauty and the Beast? It's more than just a fairy tale. It's a timeless tale about seeing beyond appearances. Let's dive into the original story. Once upon a time, a wealthy merchant lived with his 6 children. While his older daughters were vain and selfish, his youngest, whom everyone called Beauty, was kind, gentle, and loved to read. One day, a terrible storm sank the merchant's ships, and his entire fortune was lost. The family had to sell their grand house and move to a small cottage in the country. While her sisters did nothing but complain about their new life, Beauty adapted without a single complaint. She rose early every morning to clean the house and prepare meals for the family, finding joy in the simple things. A year later, the merchant heard that one of his ships had surprisingly arrived at the port. His older daughters immediately begged him for expensive gowns and jewels. But when he asked Beauty what she wanted, she simply said, "All I wish for is a single rose, as none grow here." Sadly, the merchant's hopes were crushed. After dealing with legal troubles, he found himself with nothing left. On his long journey home, he was caught in a fierce blizzard and stumbled upon a magnificent, mysterious palace. The gates swung open on their own, and inside, a warm fire crackled, and a feast was laid out on a long table. He ate, drank, and fell asleep, feeling grateful for the unseen host. The next morning, as he was leaving, he passed through a beautiful garden filled with roses. Remembering Beauty's simple wish, he plucked a perfect rose from a bush. Suddenly, a terrifying beast appeared, roaring with anger. "Ungrateful man, I saved your life, and you repay me by stealing my most precious possession." The merchant begged for his life, explaining the rose was for his daughter. The beast made a grim offer. The merchant could go free, but one of his daughters must willingly come to the palace in his place. If not, the merchant must return in 3 months to face his fate. When the merchant returned home and told his children what had happened, his older daughters immediately blamed Beauty. "See what your silly wish for a rose has caused," they cried. But Beauty, with a heavy heart, bravely declared, "Father, you will not go back to that place. I will go in your stead. A promise must be kept." Despite her father's protests, Beauty insisted. When she arrived at the palace, she was surprised to find not a prison, but a place of incredible luxury. Her rooms were filled with beautiful gowns and endless books. That evening, the beast appeared. His appearance was frightening, but his voice was gentle. He told her, "You are the mistress of this castle, and I am your servant." Every night at dinner, the beast would join her, and they would talk for hours. And every night he would ask the same question, "Beauty, will you marry me?" And every night Beauty would gently refuse, though she grew fonder of him with each passing day. After several months, Beauty grew homesick and begged the beast to let her visit her family. He agreed, on one condition: she must return in exactly 1 week. He gave her a magic ring that would transport her home and back again. Beauty's family was overjoyed to see her, but her jealous sisters, seeing her dressed in fine clothes and hearing of her comfortable life, devised a cruel plan. They showered her with false affection, begging her to stay just 1 more day. Feeling guilty, Beauty agreed. On the 10th night, she had a terrible dream of the beast lying in the palace garden, close to death, heartbroken by her broken promise. Waking in a panic, Beauty realized she had grown to love him. She used the magic ring to return to the palace at once. She found the beast exactly as she had seen him in her dream, barely breathing. Weeping, she cradled his head and confessed, "Please don't die. I never knew it until now, but I love you. I will be your wife." At her words, the palace lit up, and a magical transformation occurred. The monstrous beast vanished, and in his place stood a handsome prince. He explained that a wicked fairy had cursed him to remain a beast until a woman fell in love with him for his character alone. Beauty's love had finally broken the spell. Beauty and the prince were married and lived a life full of happiness. As for her envious sisters, they were turned into stone statues, placed at the entrance of the palace, condemned to witness their sister's joy until they could finally admit their own faults and feel true remorse. And that's the powerful story of how true love looks past the surface. What a beautiful reminder for us all. Thank you so much for watching with me today. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into a classic tale. See you next time.